this video is going to focus on monster play in Lord of the Rings Online. If you're not aware of what monster play is, it's essentially where you can play as a creepy monster creature, and your duty is to work for the armies of Angmar and making sure that this area called Ettenmoors is as dark as possible. This is actually really cool because this is like the player versus player content that you get in Lord of the Rings Online, because you actually go against some NPCs, but mostly it's for actual live players who are also trying to capture some outposts, and then you essentially want to defend or capture some of their own. But you are with Sauron, you are the darkness, you want to keep Middle Earth as dark as possible. So if that sounds like fun, then let's take a look at some of the basics. But before we can do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It really helps with visibility on the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go figure out how we can be a part of the armies of Angmar, shall we? All right, real quick, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there that it's actually been several years since I last did monster play. I did a quick run before I got into filming this video, so I went over the tutorial and the basics for you to help you understand. But just know I'm with you. I'm learning monster play with you all this time. It's something that's changed drastically in some of like the beginning aspects of it, though. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it's kind of remained the same as the quests and your objectives. It's pretty much the same area. So just kind of keep that in mind while you're playing, which is why most LOTRO players don't do monster play too much. Then they mostly just go out on the free people characters into Ettenmoors. Monster play is definitely a work in progress, and Standing Stone is actually doing some really good improvements with it, so give them a little credit there. It's not going to be like the best thing in LOTRO, I will admit that 100%, but it is a fun little dark side to Lord of the Rings that you can kind of play around with. Alright, so here is the character creation screen, and now you can actually play monster play once you've hit a character on your server that's at least level 2 according to LOTRO wiki. So I just want to put that out there. If you're not able to access monster play, it should be free to everyone now. Before, it used to be only available to like VIP or premium accounts for a time, but it's for everyone now, so everyone should see the screen and have access to this if you're at least level 2 on a character in LOTRO. Now, as you can see here, this character creation screen is a lot different and more minimal than with the regular free people characters in LOTRO. Free people, they actually get called freeps, so if I say freeps, that's what I'm referring to. Monsters are normally referred to as creeps, so that's what I mean by that as well. So essentially you get to pick between these 6 creeps. Now, which class is which? What do they do? Great question. One thing that I don't necessarily like about this character creation screen, but is super important, is that here you're like, all right, I don't know what any of these classes do. You're actually kind of in the character creation process right now. So you clicking on just a random monster right now, you hit create monster, it's actually going to show you what their roles are, some of their naming guidelines, pretty basic and really trimmed down in comparison to what you see on the other side of this. But the role is kind of important and can give you an indicator of what class even is what and what they do and all of that. So here the Reaver is sort of like a melee driven character. I'm not a huge melee person, so I'm just gonna not choose them. Weavers are your support. I've actually played the Weaver previously, and they do have like, they're kind of like a little squishier in comparison to other classes, so I just want to put that out there from my own personal experience. Now, that could have changed drastically from the last time I played them, but it's definitely more like, think of your burglars, and then the Reaver, you can kind of think of it like a guardian champion kind of based. Blackarrow is essentially like your hunters. They do a lot of bow and arrow combinations and such, and very damage driven. Warleaders are kind of like your main like tank healer. Think of like a captain in this regard. They're more of like a take charge leader type of role. Now, wargs are kind of like your burglars, actually. So when you think of Weaver, like, think of it like a burglar without the stealth, and then when you think of Stalker, think of burglar with the stealth. It's essentially the same thing. And then Defiler is essentially like your minstrel. They do all the healing for most of your group content. So I'm actually gonna pick a Stalker because I would highly recommend, especially when you're new to playing monster play, definitely go for a stealthy character, because I have played so many characters and I have died all the time as a monster, and it's always to a dang burglar. They're always in stealth, and then once the burglar hits you, then the whole other group of people come at you. So definitely take every advantage you can get. Going in stealth is so helpful just to navigate Ettenmoors, because the only safe spot you have where you cannot be attacked is in the very beginning area, Gramsfoot, where essentially no one can get through. But the second you step out of the gate, anything could happen. I've died feet away from the gate, like feet away from the gate. You could be targeted at any moment. So I would try to go to stealth as much as possible, so that way you can at least get to outposts. Maybe bring a buddy with you as a monster, because I have been annihilated way too many times and it's just made me completely never want to play monster play again. So alright, so here we are. We're actually in the Ettenmoors right now. You spawn instantly. There's no like instance tutorial or anything like that. You're just essentially dropped off here. Here you go. Have fun. Enjoy. So here, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Ettenmoors is essentially like the player versus player zone. Anyone who goes out of bounds in this Gramsfoot camp, once you're like away from this red outline, if you're outside of this red outline, you are a target anywhere around here. And then the Free People's camps, Freeps, their camp's over here by this stable master. So you can't go over there, unfortunately, past their stuff. That's sort of like their base camp. But if you were interested in playing on the Free People side, you could actually take a stable master. That's the only way to get to the Ettenmoors. You have to take a stable master and do swift travel in order to get to Ettenmoors on the Free People side. But like I said, here you can actually see like what outposts are taken. So everything that has the eye over it is ours. That's the monster players. That's your outpost. Angmar and Sauron have a hold on it. Great. And look at this. We have a lot right now. There seems to be 5 outposts that you can capture, and the only one that is not ours is closest to our base camp, which is going to be great to navigate and get around for quests. But so if you wanted to figure out where Ettenmoors is, it's in Eriador and it's right above Trollshaws. But like I said, you can't get to it from Angmar, anything like that. You can't get to it through Trollshaws. You have to take a stable master in order to get to Ettenmoors. But alright, so now that you're a little familiar with where we're at anyway, we're in Gramsfoot, and there's a lot of different tutorials coming up. As you can tell, just like anything, you have a character panel, which can act as your... Oh my god, this really threw me off. It's such a wild monster. This is essentially like where you would find your stats and stuff, so it's just like the Free People look. Essentially, you just have less things to kind of integrate with. Here, the most 2 important that you'll probably be looking at quite often will be your traits, which we have none right now, but you could see like any skills that you have, essentially, or traits that you can equip over here. And then the war panel is actually kind of what you're progressing. So here you can see that you're automatically level 140. You're the max level. You're always going to be the max level in Ettenmoors as a monster, just how it goes. Ettenmoors kind of has like this basic 140. Everybody will be level 140. Even if you're Free People and you're like level 20, you can get boosted. There's like a level boost where it'll increase your morale and power and such to equal a 140 level. So here you actually have like no way to progress, which kind of sucks, because me personally, I like to see the progress being made through leveling. But here, how you track your progress is by your war ranking. So the more that you rank, it's kind of like the more you're leveling, kind of, because you can get like ranks and like commanders and such. It's just a little more praise, and it can actually help like your skills and stuff too. So it's important to kind of track your rank through here. You can also track like all of your stats and stuff here too, like your kills and death ratios and all that. So everything else you probably won't really touch too much, but that's just something to kind of keep in mind. And then this is the time I would take to kind of go over your skills. You actually get 8 skills total when you first get off the bat here. So we have our stealth, and then we essentially have like all our DPS stuff, a couple of buffs and such as well. So definitely go through all of these and make sure that you've got all of your skills in an order that will work best for you. All right, now to actually get into the story. New pup fresh from a litter in the mires of Angmar, finally ready to wet your pelt with the blood of our enemies. Good, bare your teeth. I love this. All right, so we gotta go talk to a war tyrant. Welcome to the front. All right, so something that just came up on the tutorial section was about infamy and renown. So you have infamy points for defeating a foe, and it determines your rank and influence. So we didn't get any infamy points from that quest. However, that is something that can help you with your war ranking, like I mentioned previously. So back here. So if I were to defeat an enemy right now, I'm actually going to get a little bit of progress here. And then that'll increase like my ranking. Oh yeah, and also definitely check your inventory because you have your own inventory. Here I have like a frame. I have a couple of different gift boxes from the year anniversaries and stuff of having my account. So always check your inventory because there's some neat stuff within that. All right, so this is kind of new from what I remember. You essentially have to pick like who your tribe will be and what you kind of want to focus on. All right, so this one you have to actually choose like which clan you want to join, and you have to gather their blessing. So that's why you kind of want to read through some of those different clans, like what their main motivations are. For us, we actually probably should go along with our warg friends for like stealthiness and such. All right, so I chose my clan, and now we're gonna go talk to one of the camp leaders essentially of our clan, which is right over here. So this is a little bit of the more important stuff that you're really gonna want to kind of figure out as you go. Here you have a monster player trainer. So think of these kind of like the skirmish trainers. And within Middle Earth as a free person, you actually have a lot of skirmish trainers with these sort of like layouts and abilities. So here, as you can tell, I actually can go to my trainer, a monster player trainer, and I already have a march skill that I can buy. And here, these are actually bought with commendations. Now, commendations are kind of like your currency that you're probably going to use more so for buying skills and stuff instead of like actual coins on this monster player trainer. You can actually see your commendations in your wallet here, and this is account shared, so that's also super important to mention. That's why I have so many right now. The more you turn in quests, the more you're likely to get commendations. But anyway, it looks like we have a skill there, but before we go to do that, let's talk to our leader here. So as you can tell here, yeah, we actually get commendations pretty regularly with quests. You also get your own sort of coins and stuff for this wallet. Shouldn't be account shared, like your coins, like your silver, gold, and copper that you get in monster play should only be on this character, by the way. So as you can see here, there are rewards for your quests. So as mentioned, you do get commendations per completing quests, and then you get increased infamy, which is your war ranking, just essentially like your main progress bar. And then here, if we actually speak with the corruptor, you can see that this is sort of like a skirmish trainer, where you would equip like whatever traits you want for your soldier, and then you have to confirm it and pay like a small fee in order to equip all of that such. And there are like appearance-based things, which if you open some of your gift box and tokens in your inventory, I did get a token for a couple appearance stuff, so just keep that in mind. But here it seems corruption's gonna help you with more of like your skills and almost act as like your class virtue traits and such. So let me drag this over, confirm. All right, and here I'm actually going to buy March as that's a part of my quest. So in order to change like some of your appearance-based items and such, you'll want to talk to your clan's member that has a vendor mark over them. Normally they're unmarked like this one is, so if you click on this, you can actually see that there's different appearances that you can wear, which is really cool. And I actually got these from doing the anniversary event as a free person. So of course, some of these are just going to help you, or you'll get the currency as you are playing more LOTRO on the free people side. So kind of keep that in mind. I guess I was just lucky that I have a long-term account, we'll say, that I was able to get like the 9-year token and such, so I can actually access these appearances. And then of course, once you get the appearance, you would want to then talk to the corruptor and equip it. Oh my gosh, we look so evil. I wanted to take a quick second to speak on this. So the tutorial actually wants me to go outside in the target area, so I'm a little nervous to run over here, but hey, you gotta do what the tutorial says, right? Here you can actually see the invisible wall. These lines indicate that no free people can come through here, but the moment I step out of this, I am literally free to get attacked at any moment. So we're gonna run our butts over to this area. All right, so we got all the way over to that open area, and then you have to use your milestone to port back to Gramsfoot. That's essentially all the tutorial does. And then we finish this, and now we have one more super easy tutorial quest to get through. It's essentially just messing with our test dummy. So we're gonna click on it, and then you get your own test dummy here that you can kind of, you know, follow your skills and for the quest. All right, so we finished the training dummy quest tutorial, and we're done with that. Okay, one more time, we just have to turn in this other quest. All right, and now you are officially a monster who's passed the tutorial, and you are all ready to continue on with your raids, take out some of the freeps out there in Ettenmoors, and furthermore, just keep spreading darkness and evil into Middle-earth. Something you're gonna notice with monster play is that you're essentially just gonna keep completing dailies. You have a good amount of raiding quests because you essentially need to be in big groups. This is like your big group areas where people will attack each other and player versus player. So keep in mind that these quests will actually probably require you to have other people with you who are also trying to capture outposts alongside you. It's really hard to do just on your own. It's hard enough just to defeat the NPCs, especially when you're first starting out. So definitely take it slow and steady. Try to do some of the dailies that you could possibly do soloing, but be very careful when you're out there because some people will definitely sneak up and, you know, end your stay in Ettenmoors. But anyway, I hope that helped you a little bit with figuring out more about monster play and at least intrigued you into trying monster play. I actually would really like to get back into this. Just grouping isn't my biggest thing within LOTRO. I love doing solo content, so I essentially just want to keep doing my own thing on the free people side. You know, maybe the ring will recruit me at some point. Also, if you want more Lord of the Rings tips, I definitely have a playlist down below that you can check out. And of course, as always, I hope you have a great day. Stay weird, weirdos.